to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's President Draupadi Murmu inaugurates 16th meeting of the Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions in New Delhi. The four-day conference will be followed by a series of discussions on the evolving role of Supreme Audit Institutions in fostering transparency and accountability. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to India after concluding his US visit. He called for transforming global institutions at the UN Summit of the Future. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of UNGA. He reiterated India's willingness to play a constructive role in peaceful resolution of the conflict. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated 41st edition of Indian Coast Guard Commanders Conference at the Coast Guard headquarters in New Delhi. The Defence Minister also reiterated government's commitment, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to modernize and bolster armed forces and ICG with indigenous equipments. Indian Navy's frontline stealth frigate INS Talwar arrived in Mombasa, Kenya on a goodwill visit. The aim is to strengthen ties and reaffirm India's commitment to constructive collaboration. Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw inspected Gandhinagar railway station, addressed concerns regarding passengers' safety amid recent stone pelting incidents on the train. Ashwini Vaishnaw assured of strict actions against those involved in pelting. He also highlighted significant advancements in railway security. India's Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri completes 100 days in office, says that foundation for Viksit Bharat 2047 has been set early. India's Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister also informed that 20,000 crore rupees were delivered to 9.3 crore farmers under PM Kisan Yojana or PM Farmer Scheme. 5 vehicles of good trains derailed in India's West Bengal during early hours of Tuesday. Restoration work is underway, though the trains have been diverted through alternate routes. India's Jammu and Kashmir is all set for second phase of assembly polling. Voting for second phase to be held on 26 seats on the 25th of September. Counting of the votes will take place on 8th of October. Assembly elections are being held for the first time in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370. India's Supreme Court dismissed petition challenging Governor Thawar Chand Gehlot's approval for an investigation into alleged misuse of power in Mysuru Urban Development Authority site allotment case. Northern state of Uttar Pradesh will host the second edition of UP International Trade Show in Gautam Buddha Nagar on Wednesday. Showcasing the trade and culture of the state, the 5-day UP International Trade Show will conclude on 29th of September. It will also highlight Vietnam as the partner country. More than 400 Naxalites from the National Liberation Front of Tripura and the All Tripura Tiger Force are likely to mass surrender at a ceremony in northeastern state of Tripura. The move comes after a peace agreement signed 3 weeks ago by the centre, Tripura government and the two Naxal outfits. India's National Investigation Agency conducted raids in Tamil Nadu against internationally banned organisation Hizb ut-Tahrir. Case was registered against the organisation for recruiting people. Indian equity benchmark indices pared their gains to close on a muted note after surging to fresh all-time highs late on Tuesday afternoon. At closing bell, the BSE Sensex was down 15 points at 84,914. Nifty 50 touched a fresh record high. At close, the 50 stock index was marginally up by 0.01% at 25,940. Across sectors, the biggest gainer was the Nifty Metal Index, having climbed 2.97% at close. Rupee fell 12 paise to close at 83.66 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on the 4th of October stood at 74,433 rupees per 10 grams on Multi Commodity Exchange of India. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December were retailing at 89,558 per kilogram on the MCX. Oil prices surged on Tuesday, driven by China's monetary stimulus and concerns over potential supply disruptions in West Asia, as well as the looming threat of a hurricane in the US, the world's largest oil producer. Brent crude futures were up 84 cents or 1.14% at $74.74 a barrel, while US WTI crude futures rose 92 cents to $71.29. Asian markets soared to a 2.5-year high on Tuesday, fueled by China's sweeping stimulus measures and anticipation of further US interest rate cuts that bolstered investor sentiment and weighed on the dollar. China's CSI 300 index climbed 2.4%, while the Shanghai Composite Index gained 2.38%. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his counterparts from the G4 countries in the United States. He is set to attend the 79th General Debate Session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Dr. S. Jaishankar also had a meeting with Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tauheed Hussain of Bangladesh in New York, focusing on bilateral ties. The UN General Assembly High-Level Week is beginning on Tuesday with representatives of 193 member countries convening at the World Body's headquarters in New York. Former US President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are campaigning in battleground states this week as they race to make their pitch to the voters for November elections. Donald Trump made an impromptu visit to a local grocery store in the crucial 2024 election swing state of Pennsylvania, discussing with the staff about inflation that he blamed on his Democratic rival Kamala Harris. Republican Donald Trump said in an interview released on Sunday that he will not make a fourth consecutive run for the US presidency if he loses in November elections. National People's Power MP Harini Amarasuriya has been sworn in as Sri Lanka's Prime Minister. NPP parliamentarians Vijit Herath and Lakshman Nipun Ararchi were also sworn in as cabinet ministers. Israel's large-scale airstrikes across Lebanon resulted in multiple casualties and over 1,500 were wounded. Hezbollah fired over 150 rockets towards northern Israel throughout Monday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sent a short video statement addressing the people of Lebanon, urging them to get out of harm's way now. France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot told the UN General Assembly on Monday that it has requested for an emergency meeting of the Security Council to be held on Lebanon this week. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon has expressed grave concerns for the well-being and safety of the civilians and reiterated its strong call for a diplomatic solution. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has reaffirmed at the United Nations Summit of the Future that no member state has the right to redraw borders by force. US President Joe Biden met UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan for talks on conflicts in West Asia and Sudan, despite concerns over the Gulf powers' own role in Sudan's conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a flurry of bilateral meetings at the UN to show up support. He met German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro. Zelensky also met Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and expressed gratitude for Japan's steadfast support since the conflict began, including $4.5 billion in aid and equipment. Russia's air defense units reportedly destroyed about 13 Ukrainian drones on Tuesday. 6 drones were destroyed each over the Belgorod and the Kursk regions, while one was downed over the Bryansk region. Ukraine alleged that Russia launched 81 drones and 4 missiles to attack the country overnight. Kyiv shot down at least 66 drones, adding that it lost track of 13 more in several Ukrainian regions. A fleet of warships of Russia's Pacific and the Chinese Navy entered the Sea of Okhotsk in Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula as part of their joint Navy exercise. Singapore's former Transport Minister S. Iswaran has pleaded guilty to receiving gifts while in office. Proceedings began on Tuesday in a rare craft trial involving a state official in this Asian financial hub. Time for a short break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Jaipur.
Welcome back. Let's continue. Japan's remote Izu Island south of Tokyo were hit by a tsunami after a magnitude 5.9 earthquake occurred near an unpopulated island. Hurricane John makes landfall as Category 3 in southern coast of Mexico with fierce winds and heavy rainfall. Torrential rain hit the Tuscany region of Italy on Tuesday, causing rivers to break their banks. 2 people were reported missing after the Sturza torrent flooded in the Val di Cesena area. Heavy rains triggered flash floods in the streets of Antibes, France. Multiple areas including Maimon Street, Sector Commander Maria and Lower Avenue of Marechal Galliani were closed. Heavy rains hit Britain over the weekend, resulting a road of Marston, Mauritania to be flooded. The A421 dual carriageway road was flooded with 3 cars being abandoned in water. In India, Mumbai woke up to moderate showers. Weather officials issued a yellow alert in the metropolis and its neighbouring districts till Wednesday. Indian Meteorological Department has issued heavy rain alert for 14 districts of Telangana and isolated places over Gujarat region, West Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The desert city of Phoenix, Arizona suffered a record 113 straight days with temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius, breaks previous records of 76 days of over set in the year 1993. Argentine firefighters and ground crews continued their efforts to control the wildfires in northern region of Cordoba. Wildfires have devastated over 16,000 hectares of land. Parts of India are also experiencing severe heat wave conditions. Schools in Assam's Kamrup district are to be closed from 24th of September till 27th of it due to excessive heat condition. Preparations for Deepotsav 2024 is underway in India's Uttar Pradesh. Over 2.5 million earthen lamps will be illuminated on the ghats of Ayodhya. The Deepotsav celebrations will be held from 28th till 31st of October in India's UP. 4-day Time Jazz Music Festival starts in Morocco. The festival is held annually since the year 2000. Infinity mirror rooms and thousands of colored lights take center stage at by Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama's new exhibition. It titles Every Day I Pray for Love at London Art Gallery. Hong Kong's Jockey Club organizes creative art workshops for old people with an aim to combat elderly loneliness among older citizens. Artificial intelligence helps in discovering more than 300 Nazca geoliths in southern Peru's desert. Analysis depicts that these are 2,000 years old geoliths of humans and animals. And unusual and pointy Ainarida flower of Colombia has become the logo of Colombia's COP16, a UN biodiversity summit. This will be held in Cali in October this year. In a historic milestone, China's Chang'e 6 mission brought lunar samples from the moon's far side, which will soon be available for research applications. This marks the first time that humanity has collected material from moon's far side, generating significant excitement among the scientists. California passes law to ban smartphones in school amid the risk of mental illness and impaired learning among those who are teenage groups. Brazil government's Rio Academy organized free dance classes for wheelchair users and able-bodied individuals on Brazil's National Day of Struggle for persons with disabilities. A rare 18th century diamond necklace is set to be auctioned with a price estimate of up to $2.8 million. The piece will be at Sotheby's Royal and Noble Jewel sale at Geneva. Ahead of the Geneva auction, the necklace went on public display for the first time in 50 years at Sotheby's London showrooms. A 2.5-kilometer long public art created by Station House Opera has been installed in Toronto. It features 8,000 giant dominoes tumbling across the streets and parks of Toronto. The Saga, the legendary submarine designed in 1960, is up on display in France, offering the public a rare glimpse into maritime history. Ahead of China's National Day scheduled to take place on 1st of October, an 18-meter high flower basket was placed at the center of the Tiananmen Square as an auspicious decoration for public. Contestants donned the traditional costumes and attires at the opening ceremony of Miss Cosmo 2024. This was a part of the national costume competition. Apache penguin named Pesto has become a social media sensation in Australia, all because of his size. The 9-month-old chick weighs 22 kilograms, which is surprisingly twice the weight of his parents. Canberra's Freak Bike community organised Red Patrol Championship, but in a unique way, allowing only recycled bicycles in the competition. A student research team of Hong Kong Polytechnic University has developed an environmentally friendly cooling coating for roofs and walls that can reduce temperatures by up to 25 degrees Celsius. Netflix is set to release season 2 of the Monsters crime series, The Lyle and Eric Menente's story. The OTT giant released a trailer on Instagram captioned 30 years after the murders, the brothers tell their story. Star-studded Walk Your Worth show by L'Oreal, part of the Paris Fashion Week, was organized at the iconic Palais Garnier Opera House in Paris on Monday. Bollywood actress Alia Bhatt made her debut at Paris Fashion Week as L'Oreal ambassador. She was also joined by Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Eva Longoria, Kendall Jenner. Mexico chooses Sundance Film Festival winner Sujo to represent the country at the 2024 Oscars in the Best International Feature category. The release date for Japanese manga series called One Piece episode 1121 has been announced to release on next weekend. Key, a member of the K-pop boy band SHINee, released his third mini album called Pleasure Shop. Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi are set to star in Emerald Fennell's feature adaptation of Wuthering Heights. The film is based on author Emily Bronte's classical novel of the same name. Italian actress Isabella Rossellini is set to achieve the European Achievement in World Cinema Award at this year's European Film Awards. Lapata Ladies becomes India's official entry for the Best Foreign Film category at the 97th Academy Awards. The Film Federation of India in Chennai selected Kiran Rao directed Coming of Age story for submission. India's chess contingent were warmly welcomed back at home after they created history, winning 2 gold medals at the recently concluded 45th Chess Olympiad in Budapest. Ahead of the second New Zealand Test match, Sri Lanka added an uncapped spinner in the squad for second Test with New Zealand after the withdrawal of Vishwa Fernando due to injury. The ICC has announced an all-women lineup of officials and referees for the upcoming T20 Women's Cricket World Cup. India's ace off spinner Ravichandran Ashwin drew comparison between former coach Rahul Dravid and current Indian coach Gautam Gambhir, labelling the newly appointed head coach as relaxed ranch. Hockey India announces a two-match bilateral series between Indian men's hockey team and Germany set to take place next month. In a significant development for Everton Football Club, the Friedkin Group have reached an agreement to buy British-Iranian billionaire Farhad Moshiri's majority 94% stake in the club. Mallorca won in Indonesia for the first time in 11 years after a comeback by 2-1 victory over Real Betis in La Liga on Monday. Barcelona goalkeeper and captain Marc Andre underwent a successful knee surgery after suffering a ruptured patella tendon during the match against Villarreal. Rafael Nadal has been named in Spain's squad for Davis Cup Final 8 in November, joining forces with Carlos Alcaraz, Roberto Bautista, Pablo Carreño and Marcos Granollers. And British tennis player Mara Degunu has withdrawn from the China Open in Beijing due to a foot injury. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.